TV. Hope you're having a good one. What's good? What's good? What's good? So, overnight, we got a lot of news. So, Gloria Zhao, she's a Bitcoin or used to be a Bitcoin core developer, has resigned her role. I don't think there's really any controversy there other than it is news because she's a core developer. BlackRock's IBIT ETF set a $10 billion daily volume record yesterday, despite a 13% price drop as Bitcoin fell 12% to 64,000 and below that. I mean, there was a point where it actually hit 60. So this is the worst that it's been in a number of years in terms of Bitcoin. For me, was it a little over a year, right? A little over a year, not a number of years, a little over a year. For me, what I'm looking at is the opportunity to get in while it is low, right? It's being affected by many different things, especially what's going on in the technical stocks. That's one of the reasons why Bitcoin is down. When I look at this again, to me, it is an opportunity for me to get in. And not just for Bitcoin, and not just for crypto. The stock market is down. ARK Invest, what'd they do? They went out and bought some. They bought some crypto stocks. I believe it was, who was it? It was Coinbase, and there was another one. I forgot, but they bought about $32.7 million of crypto stocks. Why? It's obvious. Everything's down. Why wouldn't you get in right now? We should be hearing about everybody getting in right now because everything is so low. And again, if I really advise you to go back and listen to last night's show. We really touched on a lot of different topics and the real reasons behind Bitcoin and the stock market and everything being down, right? There are certain stocks that should be down. They performed poorly, but there are other stocks that came out and said, "Hey, we have decent numbers, and we just don't think right now with the turmoil and volatility that things are going to be all that great in the coming few months." And everybody lost their freaking mind. I really think everybody lost their freaking mind because they've lost sight of what the real root cause is. Watch last night's show and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Here's something else that hit. A few months ago, I told you that David Solomon was on a show and he came out there and he said, listen, we fully expect there to be job displacement due to AI implementation. But at Goldman Sachs, what we're looking to do is increase capacity. So our primary goal is to implement AI so it increases capacity. Now, he was saying that, they're not dumb. They know that there's going to be job displacement, but they're trying to minimize that because they want to free up resources to do more work. And I had said back then that was a refreshing thing to hear from a current day CEO. He's one of the few, I think he might be the only one, and he's definitely the largest that said it. Because it's true. You should be aiming for capacity improvement, for efficiency improvement, and not necessarily displacing people from their jobs. Why? Because you've invested in those people, actually. Those people can probably bring something to the table. Stitch is just having a ball. He's just having a ball. So you gotta look at that, in many different ways. So I look at it as, and you know what they did? They actually chose Anthropic. Anthropic is going to help them do a lot. Let me just scroll down real quick. So Anthropic is going to help them with different modeling. But what they're saying is they were surprised at the fact that it's not just coding that it's good at. And that's why they're doing it. That's what's crazy. That to me is what's crazy. Their outlook and approach, and Anthropic's been embedded inside Goldman Sachs, I think, for the past 6 months, doing all this work, which is why Solomon came out about 6 months ago, and ever since talking about what they're going to be doing and how they're going to be doing it. Smart moves. Get out there, get ahead, take control of the narrative, and let people know, hey, this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. This is how we're doing it. And these are the effects these are the expectations that we have. I want you to take another step back with regard to this AI implementation that Goldman Sachs is doing. This is outcome specific and outcome driven. It's not highfalutin goals, rocket ship goals. No. Very specific. Getting in there and saying, hey, we've identified a few things where we might be able to implement something that would make life easier. And that's what they're doing. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, even at my company, we have a massive publishing process. And we were able to cut that down by a lot by leveraging AI and automation. So over the years, we've gone from, 5 or 6, articles to like 10 to 15 articles. Then we bumped up to 20 to 30 articles. We're up to 30 to 50 articles a day right now. I remember when we couldn't even get 50 a week. It was really easy. I mean, it was really easy for us to go back and do a week in review of all the articles that we did, all the news that we covered, and do, and take a look at the past to take a look at the future in 1 week spans, right? Now, I mean, we're putting out so many articles that it's work to sit there and say, okay, so what were the major events over the past week? So when I look at what Goldman Sachs is doing, I'm sitting back and I'm saying, this is some good stuff. This is some really good stuff. While Grok and OpenAI are hiring people from Wall Street to help them build out models, Anthropic was in the door, side by side, working with them. You see that approach? Maybe that's one of the reasons why Anthropic is, looking to hit positive cash flow. What is it, by the end of next year? Yeah. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they're closer to doing that than OpenAI. Just saying. Now, I happen to be a believer in, I'm going to roll out my own stuff. I'm going to roll out my own, AI solutions. I'm going to run everything locally. I have a thing about, user and data sovereignty. I think they're very important. I want to protect my company, obviously, and I also want to protect the data from my customers. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. But to have that kind of buy-in, that kind of participation, that kind of side by side, let's dive in and see what's going on. Goldman Sachs made the right move. The S&P rebounded to 6,976, but corrected while Bitcoin fell to a 1-year low below 65,000. A little over a year because it hit 60,000. Kalshi enhanced prediction market surveillance via an independent committee and partnerships amid regulatory scrutiny. Now, I still have an issue with everything being called a prediction market when they're running commercials talking about people are betting on this. If you're using the word betting, your gambling platform, and you should be treated as such. I don't think you should get special anything, right? You should be treated just like casinos are treated. If you could place a bet, those are the rules that you should have to play by. Just saying. I'm not a fan. I also think that it's gonna lead a lot of people, to bad places when it comes to gambling, because they'll look at them like, oh, this isn't gambling. It's gambling. Senator Cynthia Lummis urged banks to adopt stablecoins, while delays in the Clarity Act raised concerns about regulatory uncertainty, despite Treasury Secretary Bessent's support. That's great. I'm glad he supports the Clarity Act. But there are things that are missing in the Clarity Act, right? One of the reasons that it stalled is because a lot of people are saying, listen, we shouldn't be allowed to buy stocks. Looking at Congress, we shouldn't be allowed to buy stocks. That's one. And as well as that shouldn't just be for Congress. That should also be for the president. And that's what, he's like, yeah, I'm behind it as long as you don't say that part. And now we've got investigations. Just saying. And not for nothing, but I mean, some of these moves are outright problematic. $10 billion. You're gonna steal $10 billion from the United States citizens, and where does it come out of? Our tax dollars. Just saying. Just saying. That's theft. You're not the only person who had their taxes exposed, right? So what gives you the right to try to get $10 billion? Nobody else is going to bring a $10 billion lawsuit and be taken seriously. That's ridiculous. That's only $2 billion shy of what farmers got in aid after he wrecked them. Just saying. There's just too much. There's just too much. Tech companies invested about $660 billion in AI, leading to a $1 trillion market value loss, with Amazon, Microsoft, and Google facing sharp declines despite revenue growth, and while Apple remained stable. Why did Apple remain stable? Because they didn't have that kind of investment. Apple's late to the game when it comes to AI, but let me tell you that they're like mad happy right now because they're not affected by this. Oh, we didn't spend that money. They did. We didn't. We partnered with one of them, Google, but we didn't spend any money. Oh, amazeballs. So their misstep before is proving to be a savior right now. Just saying, that's what I find to be crazy. Chinese investors drove copper, gold, and silver price surges through speculation, with M2 money supply rising 8.5% in December, though analysts warned of speculative overvaluation. There aren't that many things that they can invest in China, right? So you go to precious metals. Just saying. Pay attention. Pay attention. I look at how the Chinese have to handle their money and how they have to handle their value. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. JP Morgan set a $266,000 Bitcoin price target, citing volatility adjusted positioning against gold, despite a $29 million DeFi hack and Bitcoin falling below, like I said, below 65,000. Yeah. I think what people should be seeing here is the fact that JP Morgan is saying, oh no, we still think Bitcoin is going to do well. And this is a company who was like, oh, we're not going to have anything to do with Bitcoin. We're not going to have anything to do with that. And they're all over. They're all over DeFi and Bitcoin and their own coin. Yeah. Yeah. JP Morgan takes very sure-footed steps. Very sure-footed steps. So when they say, hey, we still have a price target that's this high from where you are, that's greater than a 4x move. I'm going to leave it right there. The 4x move. I'm all right. Strategies CEO Michael Saylor announced Bitcoin Quantum Security Program, or a Bitcoin security program, citing 25 to 30% of Bitcoin wallets as vulnerable as investors reduced holdings amid debates over threat timelines. Maybe. Right? I mean, you could pull your money out of the market, whatever. With regard to quantum computing being a threat, maybe. Is it better to be prepared? Yes. So that's why he's rolling out a program. I don't know if you're noticing, but Michael Saylor really is taking this just in stride. He's like, shut up and give me more money so I can buy more Bitcoin. Sounds funny, but that's factual. Shut up and give me more money for it so I can buy Bitcoin. Because he knows what's going to happen. He knows it's going to rebound. He knows it's going to rebound. For me, yes, I like Bitcoin. I like buying Bitcoin. I DCA average into, dollar cost averaging into many different coins. But I'm really looking at other coins. Why? Because I don't think Bitcoin's going to give me the X that others are going to give me. I've said that before. I've said that many times. I have not strayed from that sentiment. Jeffries called the crypto sell-off a liquidity-driven correction, not a fundamental collapse. Duh. Said the floor might not be in just yet, but maybe it has. Because they're not saying they don't see any signs of seeing a floor. They're just not 100% sure if this was the floor. For me, I'm hoping it's the floor. I'm hoping that a lot of this is driven by negativity in the Nasdaq, negativity in U.S. government positions and statements. And that's honestly what I'm hoping for, because I think that's what it is. The root cause was not the stock market. The root cause was not crypto. The root cause was the United States government. Go look at every time something went down. The initial or root cause was the word tariff. And I just want you to go out there and I want you to see how many deals we've had. Not many. Just saying. Metaplan and CEO reaffirmed Bitcoin first strategy despite a 5.56 stock drop. Conviction. You gonna stand by what you're saying? Okay. So the same way Michael Saylor is saying, hey, look, no, we're going to do what we're doing. It's the same way Metaplan is saying, yeah, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. You have to remember, there's a lot that you don't know about because you might not be doing your own research, knowing your entries and exits, and absolutely investing deliberately. I keep my nose in the news, so I know that there are other things going on that if you're paying attention, you realize, oh, the crypto is going to pick up. That's not a if, it's a when. And that's why I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna chill. I'm not gonna panic. I'm gonna relax right here. And I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. DCA. Now I might hold my dry powder to the side a little bit, because my dry powder, I'm looking at different places where I could put money in. Stocks, options, the whole stock market, crypto market, but also buying a business. There are opportunities there, or investing in businesses. There are opportunities there. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's a long night. Stellantis is taking it on the chin. About their shares fell about 23%. It took about a $26 billion drop in losses, suspending dividends for this period. Stellantis is in trouble. They were like, oh, we got EVs wrong. No, you build crap cars. That's what the public is telling you. If you don't have those sales, you build crap cars. Your EVs didn't work out well. You build crap cars. Your electronics weren't there. Your software wasn't there. You released crap cars. Nobody's feeling sorry for you. Nobody's feeling sorry for you. Step up your game. It's not that difficult, folks. It's really not. Anyway, you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. So let me shut that down. Get my notes out of the way. All right. Dow futures implied open 236 points up. S&P futures implied open 42.75 points up, or 43.25. Now, NASDAQ futures implied open 200.5 points up. Oil up 0.07. 10 U.S. 10-year down 0.008. Look at that. Stellantis taking it on the chin. Nobody's crying for you. Nobody. I'm not crying for any company that is not producing quality products, quality services. You skimped. That the auto industry has skimped, and they've been skimping for years. They've been skimping for years. And now they want to do things like, oh, we want to charge you a monthly fee for things that are already in your car. What are you, stupid? This has got to be one of the dumbest industries. You're going to push people toward trusting self-driving cars. What does that mean? That means I'd rather hop into basically a personalized bus than buy a car. That's what you're driving people toward. Why am I going to buy a car when you can only give me a 3-year warranty? What are you, stupid? That's my line for everybody in the auto industry. What are you, stupid? You're doing everything in reverse. When are you going to catch up, look forward and go, oh, Maybe we shouldn't be nickel and diming people. Maybe we should get back to building quality the way we used to. Remember when people used to be able to fix their own cars and they'd just come back buying parts all over the place and blah, blah, blah. Maybe we shouldn't be so damn greedy. A car should not be something that I plan on replacing every 2 to 3 years. Especially since you don't update the cars every 2 to 3 years. You change the grill, piece of plastic, you change the grill a little bit. Maybe put in an extra button, move the buttons. But the core of the car is still the same. So if that's the case, build quality, please. You went from steel to aluminum like that was going to be a great thing. And now, if you get into a small car accident, you're not banging that out. It's aluminum. It's like paper. Once you've crumpled it up, you're never going to get it flat again. You're never going to get it flat again. Where's the quality? Even these, luxury brands that these car companies have, they lack. They are lacking. They have been found wanting. All right, who do we have coming out? Toyota, another one of those companies that's like, oh, we're going to bill you once a month on, for services that are already in your car. Screw you. I don't want your car now. Toyota, Philip Morris, Ubiquiti, Sibo, Biogen. Yeah, this is a very Biogen heavy reporting day. Under Armour reports as well. I find that to be interesting. So pay attention to today. There's going to be a lot of news coming out. I'm hoping for a lot of good news. Today's Friday, consumer sentiment. Fed Vice Chair Philip Jefferson speaks, and consumer credit. I will be paying attention to consumer credit. Why? Because we're in a K-shaped economy, and I want to hear how these people are doing and how those people are doing. Again, K-shaped recovery. What else do we have? That's right. Single digits. Extreme fear. 9. We haven't seen single digits in a long time. And here we are. This is awesome. Total value locked. I'm not even going to bother to put everything on there. But total value locked, what are we looking at? $93.409 billion. Yesterday, we were just above 100. People are panicking, and I don't know why. Whenever I see things like this, I realize people are not doing their own research. Starting there, they don't have a strong foundation. So I'm just like, yeah, so you're overdoing it. In a little while, everybody's going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Oh, let me get back in. Lettuce hands. And it's happening across several different markets. Just saying. If you learn how to practice the GMB3, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately, you'll start to realize some of these moves, uncalled for. But it's exacerbated by that T word. Everybody's saying, oh, did the stocks bring crypto down? Did crypto bring stocks down? No, you forgot that just a few days ago, this regime was talking about what? Tariffs again. Not helpful. Just saying. And here's Bitcoin popping up at 66. Look at that. How disgusting. Oh my good Lord. Did we call it or what? Did we call this or what? And now we're trying to get back across that trend line. That's amazing. That's amazing to me. And just look at how steep that trend line is. Holy freaking moly. That's ridiculous. Just so you can see the bottom right there. That's ridiculous. That's almost insane. And then there we go, crashing through it. And now we're trying to make our way back. That's wow. Wow. And just so you can realize, right here, tariffs. Gentle talk about tariffs, we dropped. More talk about tariffs, we dropped. Took a little lull, more talk about tariffs, and then everything just started cascading after that. Pay attention, folks. Tons of opportunity. Look at this. Look at all this blood redness going on. Holy moly. This is when I tell people, this is when I tell people fortitude. Today's word is fortitude. Secondary word, fortitude and opportunity. Ethereum below 2,000. XRP below $1.50. Solana below 100. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. You could probably make a couple of bucks doing quick trades right here. You probably can. Doge under 10 cents. Crazy. Link under $10. What? Insane. 305 into his house. Don't forget to invest in yourself today. I'm just saying, this is a lot. To me, this is opportunity. This just screams opportunity to me. Screams opportunity. Yeah, nothing new there, but I want to see who's actually down. All right, who am I paying attention to? I don't pay attention to that. Jupiter down 15.29%. GMB X factor of 11.54. Leo token down 15.27%. GMB X factor of 0.49. Like I said, opportunity. Axie Infinity down 12.18. GMB X factor of 122. Who else? Yeah, we don't care about them. These are the people that are having the investigation done. Yeah. Those two coins they came out with. I'm just saying. Tell me you're a rug pull without telling me you're a rug pull. Monero down 11.82%. GMB X factor of 1.59. Of course I like Monero. Pendle down 11.47%. GMB X factor of 5.25. Arweave down 11.17. GMB X factor of 42.53. Do I think they're going to recover from that anytime soon? Not really. Not really. H-bar was at 7 cents. I definitely grabbed more. Not mad at you. H-bar's got a lot of stuff going on, especially in RWA. Just saying. Aave down 9.89%. GMB X factor 5.20. Who else do we have? Radium down 9.75%. GMB X factor of 27.59. Pith has been taking it on the chin for a long time. Down 9.72%. GMB X factor of 27.17. Yikes. Solana down 9.57%. GMB X factor of 2.62. Everything's negative. Holy moly. You go on for a while with this negativity. Let's go see what's positive. Top 25s. And wow, I was expecting to actually see some red over here. That's interesting. But my 5% rule takes us right there. Right? So Quant is up 6.725% with a GMB X factor of triple nickels, 5.55. We've got, who else is on this list that I actually care about? Nobody. So then my big question is going to be, why is Quant up 6.72%? I don't have any Quant, but I'm interested to find out why is Quant up. That's interesting to me. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what we're doing over here. If you do, smash the likes. Tell your friends about this community. It's the only community that cares about your knowledge so you can manage your bags appropriately. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. I'll see you tonight on Friday Flips. It's going to be an interesting day. Pay attention. Have a good one.